welcome back to my channel Code with Hafiz. This is Hafizullah Masoudi, and today I'm going to show you how to create real-time comment system in Laravel and Vue.js. So I don't want to waste time, so let's start, guys. Well guys, I have provided a link which is a GitHub repository, and it is a starter project. So click on the link and it will redirect you to this page. And what we want to do is clone this repository. So let's copy the link and let's open a command prompt window. Let me zoom it a little bit. Now in here, first we want to navigate to our vamp folder. So cd //vamp64/www and press enter. Now we want to say git clone and we want to paste our link. Well guys, just ensure one thing, that you have installed this git package in your system. And if you don't have installed this git package, so go to the Google and search for git download and click on this first link. And to download git, just click on this download 2.30.2 for Windows or any other operating system that you are using. So after downloading git, now we can say press enter and it will clone the repository in our vamp folder. So you have to wait for it to finish. So guys, after cloning the repository, now we have to navigate to our project folder. So cd block, and we have to install our Laravel version, which is Laravel 7. So for that we can say composer install and press enter. It will take some time, guys. You have to wait for it to finish. So guys, our composer install has been successfully done. Now we have to install our dependencies, and for that we can just say yarn, or instead of yarn we can also use npm install. But because I have used yarn in this project, so I will run yarn and press enter. So after running yarn, I have to copy the .env file. So let's say copy and .env.example, and we want to create a new file from it, and we want to name it .env and press enter. Yeah, file has been copied. Now after copying the file, let's go to phpMyAdmin and create a blog database. So let's go to localhost/phpMyAdmin and press enter. Now in here, let's say new database and let's name it blog, and for the collection let's say UTF-8 Unicode CI. Create. Yeah, now we have to connect our database to the project. So let's go back to the CMD, and in here what we can do is first let's say php artisan, and before that guys, let's open our project in text editor. So code space dot, and in here let's go to this .env file, and instead of Laravel, for our database name let's say blog, and save it, close it. Now let's get back to our command prompt window, and in here first let's say php artisan config :cache to clear the config and cache of our project. After that let's say php artisan migrate, and after migration let's say php artisan db seed. So guys, everything has been done. We have a starter project in which we can now start our coding our real-time comment system. So now if we go to the browser and say localhost/blog, well, it's not working. Yeah, silly mistake, I forgot to generate the key. So let's get back to the command prompt window, and in here let's say php artisan, this one should be artisan key : generate, and press enter. And once again let's also run our php artisan config cache to clear the cache and config files. So press enter. Now if I go back to the browser, refresh, yeah, you can see we have 2 posts in the database, and for the comments we have to log in. And I also have created 2 users. Well, let's first log in as John @app.com. Password is password. And press enter. Yeah. Now you can see we have access to the comment section. So guys, this is the starter project. Now to start working on our real-time commenting system, first of all we have to code the functionality for storing the comments into the database. Well, before everything guys, let's create a model, controller and migration for the comments. So let's get back to our command prompt window, and in here let's say php artisan make column model, and let's name it comment. And we also want to flag it as -m for migration and C for controller, and press enter. So now guys, after creating these files, let's open them and write our code. So let's get back to our text editor, and first let's go to database migrations and open this comment migration. And in here what we want to do is create 3 fields. Well, first of all let's say table arrow integer. We want to store the user that is submitting the comment, so user id underscore id, and after that I want to store the post id also, and the last one is the comment itself, and this one should be text. Now these 2 IDs are coming from the Fourian table, so at the bottom let's say table arrow Fourian, and let's say user underscore id arrow references id field arrow on which table, users table. And let's duplicate this one should be for posts, and this one should be id, and the Fourian key is post underscore id. Now the next part is to code the relationship for their models. So let's go to app, and at the bottom first let's write the code for user model. So in here let's say public, or guys we can copy this one, let's copy it and paste it, and instead of posts let's say comments, and a user has many comments, well this one should be comment model. Now let's open guys our post model, and in here let's also paste the code, and this one should be comments because a single post has many comments. So instead of post comment model let's say comment model. And after this finally let's open our comment model, and in here let's paste the code, and the first one is let's say user, because a comment belongs to a single user, so instead of has many let's say belongs to a single user. And let's copy this function from here and paste it again, and this one is for post because many comments can belong to a single post, so post model. So guys, we are finished with the migration and also the models. Now let's run our migration. So let's get back to our command prompt window, and let's say php artisan migrate, and press enter. And let's also run our yarn run watch, press enter. Yeah. Now let's get back to our text editor, and first of all let's go to resources, views and home blade, and in here what we want to do is let's cut this div from here, which is for creating the comment. So let's cut it, and in here let's say we want to create a vue.js component by the name of add/comment, and we also want to pass some IDs. First of all the user ID, so equals to double curly brackets, and we want to get this from auth variable of Laravel, so auth user parenthesis arrow ID. After user ID we have also post ID, so post ID equals to double curly brackets, and we have $post variable arrow ID. Now the next part is to create this add comment component in our app.js file. So let's go to resources, JS folder and app.js, and let's duplicate this line of code where instead of example component, let's say add comment, and for the component also let's say add comment. Now guys, let's create this add component, add comment component in our components folder. So let's go to components and we can duplicate this example component. So Control Shift S, and let's rename it add comment and press enter. Well, instead of this div, I want to paste my previous div which I cut from the home blade. Let me indent it a little bit. So first of all guys, let's get our properties that we sent into this component, which are the user ID and post ID. So in here let's say props and our brackets, and inside here let's say user ID comma post ID, and let's put a comma. Now let's say data parenthesis curly brackets and return curly brackets, and in here what I want to do is create a collection by the name of form data, and inside here we are sending the comment itself, and after the comment we are sending the user underscore ID, which we are getting from the this dot user ID property. And let's duplicate this one. This one should be for post ID, post underscore ID. Yeah, that's fine. Now to check our code if it works, what we can do is first let's bind this comment with a view object that we created, which is this comment. So in here what we can do is say v-model and form data dot comment, and at the bottom or before bottom let's also declare an event for this button. So add click, let's say add comment, or instead of add comment let's say comment store. Now let's create this method in our methods field. So let's say comma methods curly brackets and paste the comment store method, and to check our code let's say alert this dot user ID and save it. Now if we go to the browser, let's refresh. Yeah, we didn't get any errors. If I check the inspect element, yeah, we don't have any errors. Now let's try to submit this comment. So let's say, yeah, this one is post 2 user ID 2, and let's, yeah, we are getting the user ID, and if I say instead of user ID let's say post ID, now if I refresh, this one should be 2, yeah, and this one should be 1. Well, that's working, so that's good. Now the next part is guys to write the code to store our comment using ajax request. So let's get back to the text editor, and instead of this alert, what I want to do is let's say axios dot post, and for the endpoint let's say comment slash store, and I also want to pass the data. So this dot form data, and let's say dot then response that is coming from the function should equal to curly brackets, and let's say console.log and response.data, and after that we also want to show our error messages. So dot catch errors should equal to curly brackets, and we want to show them in our console log. So console.log errors. Now the next part is guys to create this endpoint in our routes file. So let's go to routes web.php, and at the bottom let's say route colon post and slash comment slash store, and let's say comma, it should go to comment controller add store method. Now let's create the store method in our comment controller. So let's go to app http controllers and comment controller. First of all let's use our app comment model. So use app \comment model, And inside our comment controller, let's create a function, public function store, and we have request coming from the form, so we need our request variable. And after that, let's say $sign comment should equal to new comment, and after that let's say comment arrow insert, and create our array. We want to store the comment itself, which is should equal to $sign request arrow comment, comma, then we have the user underscore ID field, so it should be equal to request arrow user underscore ID, comma, and the last one is post underscore ID, which should equal to $sign request arrow post underscore ID, and terminate our code. Now finally we can say return response arrow JSON, and we want to return the comment itself. Well, let's comment this one, and at the top let's say request arrow all, because I want to show you if we are getting all the fields that we need from this request. So let's get back to our text or not text editor, browser. Let's refresh, and in here let's say hello there, and submit comment. Well, let's go to this network field, and let's go to this store. We are getting nothing. Let's see what is the problem. Well guys, we are saying request all, but we forgot to say return. I think we inserted the comment into our database. So let's check our phpMyAdmin. So let's go to this blog and comments. Yeah, you can see we have stored the comment into our database. So now let's check it if it works. So let's say hello and submit comment. Now you can see we are getting the comment, but if I check the database, we didn't save it because we are only returning request all. So now if I comment this one and uncomment this one and get back to the browser, now let's refresh and let's say new comment added and submit comment. We are getting the comment in here. And if I check the database, yeah, you can see user ID 2, post ID 2. And if I comment on this one, let's say new comment and submit comment, this one should be post ID 1. So let's refresh the table. You can see the post ID is 1. Well guys, before closing this video, one thing that is left and I want to show you is that if we go back to the project, you can see we are writing the comment, and when we submit, it doesn't empty the text area. So to empty the text area, let's get back to our code editor and let's go to this add comment component, and after this console.log, let's say this dot form data dot comment should equal to an empty string. And now if I go back, refresh, and let's say new comment again and submit the comment, yeah, you can see it emptied the text area after storing the comment. So guys, this was how to store the comments using API Ajax request. Well, I think this is enough for this video guys, and in our next video I will show you how to fetch the comments from the database using vue.js and API Ajax requests. And after that I will show you how you can create the real-time system without using any packages. And guys, for the source code, you can get the link from the description and find the code in github.com. Well guys, don't forget to subscribe the channel and like the video and share it with your friends. So thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video.